Hi folks, welcome to your push prenatal practice. This is a gentle 45-minute class that will engage the entire body, help us open up the hips, create some spinal fluidity, and promote positive pelvic floor health. Hi, I'm Ayushi, and I'll be guiding us through practice today. We'll start in our initial relaxation, placing our sit bones or tailbones at the edge of a bolster or firm pillow so that we're supporting spine alignment and pressing the knees downward into the mat. In this pose, you can sit in butterfly pose with the soles of the feet pressed together, your legs straight out in front of you, or you can sit with the feet crossed or the legs crossed, essentially holding a pose that is comfortable, that you can stay in for a few moments. Start with our shoulders roll back, take a deep inhale and exhale through the nose if you can. Another deep breath in and out. We'll start by grounding the body, the mind, to engage in practice, being very aware of our surroundings, maybe pressing palms into the belly to say hi to baby. Take a deep breath in and out. Now moving one palm up to the chest, leaving another palm at the belly. We'll take some deep breaths in, and as we take a deep inhale, let's pay attention to the belly rising and the chest rising. And then we'll breathe out to feel the belly fall and then the chest. A few rounds of this now. Deep breath in, belly up, chest up. Exhale, belly falls, chest falls. Deep inhale and exhale, trying to breathe out through the nose if you can. Deep inhale and exhale. One last round. Deep inhale and release the breath. Palms can come back down to your sides. Very good. We'll do some neck stretching next. Let's take a deep inhale at center. Exhale to turn your head all the way to the left, trying to keep the rest of the body perfectly still. Inhale back to center. Exhale, turning to the right this time. A few rounds. Inhale center. Exhale left. Inhale center. Exhale right. Inhale center, exhale left, inhale back to center, exhale right. Starting off slow and steady. And exhaling left, inhaling, exhaling right. Inhale back to center, exhaling left, inhale back to center, exhaling right. Just a few more rounds. Inhaling to center, exhaling left, inhaling to center, exhaling right, inhaling to center, and we'll go on to the next one, moving that neck up and down now. So inhaling to come to center, exhaling, we'll move chin to chest, lowering the head, inhale back to center, exhale, chin to the sky, inhale to center, exhale, chin to chest, inhale center, exhale sky, inhale center, lower down, and inhale back to center. Let's move on to making some circles with the neck now. Deep inhale to bring your right ear to right shoulder, and then make circles in that direction. Just a few rounds here, going slow, going steady. Trying to match your breath to this movement. One last round in this direction, and then we'll keep making circles in the opposite direction. Deep inhale, left ear to left shoulder, and then your chin can reach for the sky, right ear to right shoulder, and then chin back to chest. A few rounds here. One last round. And then we'll move on to the shoulders. Let's take a deep inhale and roll the shoulders back, bringing the shoulder blades together on the exhale. Just a few rounds. Keeping the rest of the body as still as you can. And then we'll make circles in the opposite direction, so rolling those shoulders forward, separating the shoulder blades now. Just a few rounds. And then we'll come back to center. Let's engage the arms in this stretch now. Let's take a deep inhale to throw the right arm up, reach over, grab your left ear, and pull your head over to the side. You can extend the stretch through the left arm by lifting that left arm up. And then we'll reverse out of the stretch. Very good. Let's throw the left arm up this time. Reach over to grab at the right ear and pull your head gently over to the side, away from the body. A right arm straight out, sticking away from the body to extend this lateral stretch on the neck out through the arms. Deep inhale and exhale to come out of the stretch. Dropping the right arm first, straightening that left arm in the air, and then bringing both arms down to your sides. We'll move into some breathing exercises next. We'll try alternate nostril breathing. So we'll stick out the right palm and bend the index and middle finger, which leaves your thumb and your last 2 digits opposable and available to block your nostrils. With the thumb, you'll block your right nostril. With your ring finger and pinky finger, you'll block the left. Your left arm can stay anywhere on the ground or on your left knee that's comfortable. Then we'll take a deep breath in through both nostrils to start. Now plugging the right nostril, let's take a deep inhale through the left for on my count. Hold the breath, switch sides, and exhale through the right for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling on the right side now for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Then we'll switch sides and exhale on the left on my count for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling on the same side, left side for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, switch sides, and exhaling right for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Inhaling on the right side for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. Now switch sides. And then exhale on the left side for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale on the left for 2, 3, 4. Switch sides. Hold the breath for a second. Now exhale on the right for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling same side, right side. Hold the breath. And exhale left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling same side, left side for 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, switch sides. Exhaling right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling right, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Inhaling left, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, switch sides. Exhaling right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling right, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, switch sides. Exhaling left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling left, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath, switch sides. Keep holding for a little bit longer. Now exhaling right, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling right, 2, 3, 4. Hold the breath. We're holding for a little bit longer. This is our last retention. Now exhaling left, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Great job. Bring the right palm back down to the right knee or anywhere on the mat that feels good. Take a deep inhale through both nostrils, congratulating yourself, patting yourself on the back for engaging in alternate nostril breathing. And focusing on the breath as it comes back to regularly scheduled programming. Just pausing here for a moment, closing your eyes if you can, and focusing inward. This is an excellent exercise, a breathing exercise to help slow the nervous system down. When you're ready, opening the eyes, finding movement again, coming out of that pose, we will come up to stand on the knees and make use of your bolster or heavy or firm pillow if you'd like, but we'll come together in tabletop. So for tabletop, I like to keep the knees hip width apart, Feet are hip width apart as well. Tops of the feet are pressing into the mat. And then palms are pressing into the mat in a way that allows for the wrist, elbows, and shoulders to be perfectly aligned. We'll go into some cat-cows now. Take a deep inhale to look up. Shoulder blades come together. Exhale, shoulder blades separate. We're looking down, chin to chest. Inhaling back up. And exhaling, shoulder blades separate, chin to chest. Inhaling back up. Stick the tailbone out if you'd like. Gaze to the sky, shoulder blades together. Exhaling, chin to chest. Very good. Inhaling, look up. Exhaling, round the back. A few more rounds. Deep inhale to look up. Bring the shoulder blades together. Exhale, round the back. Shoulder blades separate. Inhale back up. Exhale to round the back once more, chin to chest. Very good. On this next inhale, come up into cow, so looking up on the inhale. On the exhale, you have the option to neutralize the spine, curl the toes under, and lift the heels up and off the mat. Only an option. We'll just hold it for a few seconds if it feels good. This is a bear claw hold, and our knees are off the mat. And then we'll come back down, press the tops of the feet into the mat once more, and we'll do 3 more rounds of our cat-cow. Deep inhale to look up, and exhale to round the spine again. Inhaling to look up, shoulder blades together. Exhaling, chin to chest. Last round. Exhale, round the back one last time, and then we'll come back to a neutral spine. That neutral spine, press the palms into the mat so you can kick your right foot back, and we'll just pulse forwards and back for a few seconds here. When you pulse back, trying to bring the right heel close to the ground. We pulse forward, really focusing on the balls of the feet. Now switching sides to do the same thing on the left foot, pulsing forwards and back, just for a few seconds. We'll come back and kick the right foot out again. This time, move forward, bringing the right leg up into a fire hydrant pose with the right knee bent. And then slowly moving the right foot forward so that it's resting just outside of the right palm, in line with the fingertips. Making our way into a right lizard, creating a deep stretch for the thighs, for the pelvic floor, and taking a moment here to use any bolsters, blocks, or firm pillows you might have handy to create a little bit of length between your arms and the ground. Option to curl the left toes under to lift the left knee off the mat. Remembering to keep looking up, stretching along, feeling a pull on your upper left thigh here. Deep inhale and exhale to drop the left knee onto the mat if it's off the mat. Put the bolsters or blocks to the side. Pull the right foot inwards so that it's closer to the midline in between the arms. Then we'll take a deep inhale to lift up into a high lunge. Palms can come together in front of the chest, or arms can shoot straight up over the head, palms facing one another. Remembering to keep your left heel lifted off the mat. Finding alignment, taking a moment to balance, and then we'll drop the left heel to go into Warrior One. Both sets of toes are pointing in the same direction at the top of the mat. Palms can be pressed together in front of the chest in Warrior One as well. Or you have the option to sweep the arms up. This time, both sets of feet, or both feet, are pressed into the mat. Gaze is straight ahead, looking over the top of your mat. We're breathing long and tall. Exhaling now to move into Warrior Two. This time your back foot, your left foot, is pointing at the edge or the long edge of the mat. So you're creating a little L shape between your toes. Gaze is following your right fingertips, and your arms are sweeping up and pointing out away from you. Deep inhale to lengthen those arms, fingertips pointing away from the body. Exhale to see if you can sink a little bit deeper into that bend in the right knee. So your back left leg stays strong, right knee is slightly bent. We're holding that warrior. Warrior two. Deep inhale. Exhale. Sink a little deeper if you can. One last inhale in warrior two on the right side. We'll exhale to straighten out that right knee and prepare ourselves to go into a triangle on the right side. So keep those arms up if you can, don't let them drop. And then on the inhale, we'll push forward to the right side, throwing the left hip back, and exhale to drop the right arm onto the right leg. So either resting on the inside of the right thigh or grabbing some part of the right leg that feels good. Try to keep the arms long and strong. Your gaze can follow the left fingertips, which should be reaching for the sky. We're creating an angular shape with the body here. Deep inhale, keeping both knees locked in place. Exhale to roll the left shoulder back. Keep the chest open as you go into triangle. Just a few more breaths in this pose. One last deep inhale. Exhale to come back up. Find the arms, bring them back up to the center, and then you can let them drop. Good job. Flipping the right foot in so that both sets of toes are pointing at the long edge of the mat now. I'm just going to switch directions so you can see me as I do this. You don't have to follow suit. We'll make our way into goddess pose next. So for this, I want you pointing both sets of toes away from the body, 45-degree angle away from the body to opposite corners of the mat. Keep the feet a little more than hip width apart, and we're going to throw the arms up. Deep inhale to look up. Roll the shoulders back. We'll take a moment to tuck the pelvis in. Another deep inhale with the arms up. And then we're going to exhale to bring the arms into cactus arms, so with an L-shaped bend in the elbows. And as you do this, the knees are bending, so you're coming into a bit of a squat. Again, checking to make sure that we're not sticking the bum out. Feeling a little pull the inner thighs or all across the thighs. And then we're holding this for as long as is comfortable. So arms can stay in cactus form, or we can bring the palms together in front of the chest. Deep inhale, exhale to see if you can sink a little bit deeper into this very empowering pose. Very great for opening up the birth canal and strengthening those legs. We'll hold this for just a few more breaths. Again, option to keep the palms together in front of the chest or to go back into cactus arms. One more inhale to come up, and exhale to drop the arms. We'll flip the right foot out now so that we can make our way back into warrior one. Left toes are pointing in the same direction as well, pointing at the front of the mat. And then we'll take a deep inhale to create a bend in the right knee. Left leg stays locked and strong. And we'll throw the arms up to go into our last warrior one on the right side. Option here to bring the palms together, create a bend in the elbows. And then you can interlace the fingers and flip the palms up, create a little back bend, or bend the elbows again to place the interlaced fingers at the back of the neck, gently pressing the head into your interlaced fingers, creating a little stretch for the lower back here. Light bend in the right knee. Deep inhale to bring the arms back up, separate the fingertips, Exhale, bring the arms back down to your sides. And then very slowly pressing your weight into the right foot, take a moment to step the left foot forward, stretching out, shaking things out as you need to, and then placing both feet at the top of the mat. We'll take a deep inhale, bring palms together in front of the chest. Exhale, throw the arms up. Another inhale to look up, gentle back bend. Exhale, neutral spine. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, neutral. Inhale, last back bend. Exhale this time to hinge forward from the hips, keeping the spine as neutral as is comfortable. We're just going to come into a half forward fold. Palms can rest at the tops of the thighs if you would like, or you can grab at the pillow or bolster or blocks in front of you. We're just going to hang out here for one moment. Right now the back should be flat, and then we'll grab at the bolster, block, or pillow in front of us so that we can lean on that as we start to do a variation of the cat-cow. So we'll take a deep inhale to look up, bring the shoulder blades together, and then exhale to look down, chin to chest. Inhale, back up. Exhale, chin to chest, shoulder blades separate. Inhale, looking up as high as you can. Exhale, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale, back up, shoulder blades together. Exhale, chin to chest. Just a few more rounds. Inhale, back up. Exhale, round the back. Inhale, back up. And exhale, round the back. Next inhale, we can bend the knees, make the back flat once more, and then just find fluidity, stretch out, pedal the feet out, and release any tightness or tension you might be holding in the legs or in the back. Shake out the head. And then very slowly we'll take a deep inhale to step the right foot back. Going into the lizard once more, this time on the left side. So the left foot is actually placed outside of the left arm. We're looking up. Right knee can be on the mat or up in the air, whatever feels good. And then very slowly, in whatever way feels comfortable, we'll meet together in a downward dog. So what I'm doing is going into an upward dog first and then flipping my feet inwards to make way into my downward dog. Here it's very important to keep a flat back. Bend your knees as much as you need to in order to keep that back flat. And then very slowly we'll come into our tabletop. Take a moment to readjust, find alignment. Wrists, elbows, and shoulders should be stacked. Knees are hip width apart. Spine is neutral. And then we'll do a few regular cat-cows. So inhaling to look up, shoulder blades come together, tailbone out. Exhale, chin to chest, round the back. Inhale, looking up. Exhale to come down. Find a neutral spine, and then we'll actually do some tail wags. So just bringing the head closer to the hip. So turning to the right first, then the left. Stretching out those hip flexors. And then we'll stick the left foot out so we can pulse back and forth, forwards and back on the left foot, keeping the spine neutral. Switch sides, pulsing forwards and back on the right foot now. And then we'll stick the left foot back out so that we can make our way into a little hydrant stretch. Reminder to use your pillows or your bolsters or your blocks to provide support if you're starting to feel any tension in the wrists or in the knees. Coming back to that fire hydrant so we can pull the left foot forward and make our way into the left lizard. Finding length in the spine, looking up, pushing forward so that you feel a slight stretch in the upper right thigh. And then, as always, option to lift the right knee up and off the mat as you hold the lizard on the left side. Again, as a reminder, feel free to use any tools you might have to make these poses easier, more accessible for you. I'm taking a pillow, placing it under my right knee so that I have a little more support as I hold this lizard pose and make it comfortable for myself. Now preparing to move into a high lunge on the left side, we're gonna shift the left foot inward so that it's in between both palms, closer to the midline. Deep inhale to come up to standing. Both sets of toes are pointing at the front of the mat. Slight bend in the left knee. Deep inhale to throw the arms up in the air. Exhale to settle into a high lunge. Right leg, back leg is strong. Right heel is lifted up and off the mat. Take a deep inhale. Exhale now to come into Warrior One. For Warrior One, we're dropping that right heel so both feet are pressed into the mat. Palms are together in front of the chest, or you can throw the arms up over the head and create a little stretch here. Option to add some movement so you can roll the shoulders forwards and back. Create a little stretch here. Or you can find stillness in the Warrior One. Keeping a bend in the left knee, keeping that back leg strong. We'll now move into Warrior Two, so flipping the right foot out so that it's pointing at the long edge of the mat. We'll take a deep inhale to turn the body to the side. Exhale, lifting both arms up, creating length here, and following the left fingertips with your gaze. Again, slight bend in the left knee. Right leg stays locked in place. Deep inhale to extend the arms. Exhale to see if you can bend a little bit deeper into the Warrior Two. Holding this for a few breaths. Last deep inhale. Exhale to straighten the left knee. And then we'll come to face the long edge of the mat for a moment as we prepare to go into triangle on the left side. So deep inhale, leaning forward on the left side, pushing the right hip back. Exhale, sliding the left arm along the length of the left leg, either on the outside or the inside of the left leg, whatever feels good. Creating that angular shape with the body, keeping both knees locked in place, and your gaze is following the right fingertips up in the sky, or you're looking straight ahead. Deep inhale, exhale to roll that right arm back or right shoulder back so that we're making sure to keep the chest open in this pose. One last deep inhale. Exhale. And on your next inhale, you can come back up to standing. Exhale to drop the arms. And then we'll take a moment to shake the legs out before we go into our next pose. Now, facing the long edge of the mat, both sets of toes are pointing at the long edge of the mat. Feet are a little more than hip width apart. Take a deep inhale, and we'll exhale to come into a half forward fold once again, hinging from the hips. Keeping a little more distance between the feet this time. Creating a bend in the knees and widening the stance enough So you can reach the fingertips close to the ground, or you can reach for a pillow that's in front of you on the ground. Deep inhale. Exhale to push the hips forward and come into a deep squat. Inhale back up. Exhale back into that deep squat, pushing the hips forward, keeping the back and the spine really long. We'll do a few rounds. Inhaling to come back up, exhaling into a squat, inhaling back up and into a squat. Matching this movement to your breath for one more round. And then if it feels comfortable to do so, we'll settle into this garland pose. Again, an excellent prenatal yoga pose, but only do this if it feels comfortable. Option 2, throw a pillow or bolster under the bum or the sit bones so we can find comfort in this pose. And then option 2, press your palms together using the crevices of the knees as support to hold the body in this garland pose. If it feels good to do so, we can start to add some dynamic movement to this pose. So maybe rocking side to side and taking turns, lifting one heel up each time you rock over. Remembering again to keep the spine really long. We don't want to hunch the shoulders or allow the back to round in this pose. And also remembering that every pose we do in this class is optional. So if this pose doesn't feel amazing, then we have the option to do alternatives. Alternatives for this pose include a child's pose or a butterfly pose. But we're settling into a variation of this squat that feels good. So if you'd like to attempt a butterfly pose instead, what we can do is sit either on the mat or at the edge of a pillow. Bring the soles of the feet together and use blocks or smaller pillows to provide a little bit of cushioning for the knees. And then we can take a deep inhale and exhale to tuck the elbows into the crevices of the knees. Again, keeping the back really long, keeping the spine long, making sure that we're not creating any tension or pull for the neck in this pose. So you have the option to settle into a butterfly pose here, or you have the option to return to the garland pose, the deep squat. For just a few more seconds. Deep inhale now to come out of the garland pose or the butterfly pose. We'll come back up to standing at the top of the mat. We'll place the left foot at the top of the mat and we'll throw the right foot back so that we can go into one last warrior one pose on the left side. This time we'll incorporate some more back bends so we can interlace the fingers, flip the palms up, or we have the option to bend the elbows so that we can press the palms into the back of the neck. Deep inhale. Exhale to create a slight bend for the lower back, keeping the back leg, the right leg, locked in place and strong, keeping a slight bend in the left knee for a few more breaths. Deep inhale, exhale, remembering that both sets of toes are pointing to the front of the mat. And then we'll come out of this stretch, throwing the arms up, bringing the palms together in front of the chest, and then slowly stepping the right foot forward, stretching out, making circles with the foot if that feels good. We'll meet at the top of the mat, feet together. We'll actually do one last variation of the cat-cow stretch. This time, we'll do it standing. So let's take a deep inhale, throw the arms up over the head. Exhale to actually round the back, drop chin to chest, arms to your sides. We'll do just 2 more rounds of this at your own pace, allowing the shoulder blades to come together and separate. One last time before we go into a half standing forward fold. So we'll hinge from the hips again, keeping a very flat back, letting the palms rest somewhere on the legs, maybe above the thighs or reaching for the ground if that feels good. We will create a bend in the knees so that we can kind of start rocking back and forth, creating a little stretch for the backs of the legs and for the various tendons and muscles and bones in the feet. So as we rock forwards, we can lift the heels up. As we rock backwards, we can lift the toes up. And maybe it feels good to do this with your palms at the backs of the legs. But we'll do that for a few seconds before settling into a full forward fold. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Again, keeping a bend in the knees if that feels good. We'll take one last deep inhale here before exhaling to step the left foot back this time into a little lunge for a moment. And then we'll step the right foot out so that it's resting just outside of the right palm. We'll make our way into one last lizard pose, pushing forward so you feel a stretch in the upper left thigh before throwing the right foot back. Knees can be on the mat or off of it. We'll take our time and slowly make our way into a downward dog, keeping a bend in the knees if needed. Our goal is to keep a very flat back. Now, option to stay in downward dog, or if you would like to practice puppy pose today, feel free to drop your knees onto the mat. Ensure that the knees are hip width apart and that the knees are stacked with the hips. Now you can slowly start to slide forward, either with or without a pillow or bolster to provide cushioning, and start to melt the chest towards the mat, or into the mat. For this, you can slide forward and press the chin into the mat. Keep the arms straight out in front of you so that it enables the chest to open up. And you have the option to engage in puppy today, or you have the option to make your way into child's pose. So if you're in downward dog, make your way into child's pose now, allowing the big toes to touch behind you, widening the knees so that they're mat width apart, creating space for baby, and then either using a pillow or bolster for support, or pressing the forehead or cheek into the mat itself, keeping the arms straight out in front of you, or allowing the arms to wrap around the legs, really settling into a version of the child's pose that is comfortable for you, a pose that you can hold for the next few breaths in order to allow the body to cool down after having engaged. in this prenatal practice. Just a few more breaths in this pose now. On your next inhale, we'll start to come up so that we're sitting on our heels. We'll press the palms into the mat in a way that allow for the wrist, elbows, and shoulders to stack. And then we'll just engage in a little bit of spinal flexation. So inhaling to look up, really creating a rounding in the back on the exhale. Almost like one more variation of that cat-cow stretch. Allowing the body to relish in all of the spinal fluidity you've created in class today in ways that feel good. And then we'll come up to stand. We'll take a deep inhale to throw the right arm up. Exhale to reach for the right heel. Option 2, curl the toes under at this point. Feels comfortable. And then we'll reach the left arm over. We'll take turns, starting slow, windmilling one arm back at a time, keeping the gaze neutral for now. And then you have the option to add a bit more dynamic movement. So when one arm reaches back, the other can reach for the sky. We can windmill back and forth. And then option once more to add a bit more movement here. So instead of keeping the gaze neutral as we windmill the arms back and forth, we can allow the head to turn as we reach for each heel. Only engaging with this pose if it feels good, creating a really nice stretch for the back. And then you have the option finally to reach both arms back to grab at both heels at the same time. Once again, only if this feels good. One last deep inhale. Exhale to come out of this pose, sit back on your heels, and start to prepare for final Shavasana, or final relaxation. If you have blocks and a bolster, feel free to create a reclining space for you to relax in. Alternatively, you can press a pillow up against a wall and lean against the wall in a recline pose. As we recline, we have the option to press the soles of the feet together to settle into a butterfly pose, or press the feet into the mat completely with the knees bent. We can also keep the legs straight out in front of us, or cross the legs, finding a version of this reclining pose that is comfortable, that we can hold as we settle into our final relaxation. Remembering to roll the shoulders back and allow the palms to rest either on your sides facing up, or allow the palms to rest on your belly, checking in with baby. We'll take some deep breaths here as we allow the body to continue to cool down from our prenatal practice. Now bringing awareness back to the body, wiggling the fingers and toes. Take a deep inhale to throw the arms up over the head. Exhale to throw your feet up in the air. Another inhale to stretch long and tall. Exhaling to make circles with the wrists, with the legs, with the feet. Pointing the toes, flexing the toes. Taking one very deep inhale, exhaling to bring both palms to the body, one palm on the chest, another on the belly. We'll end class the same way that we started, with a few deep breaths. Deep inhale to feel the belly rise ever so slightly, then the chest. Exhale to feel the belly fall. Deep inhale, exhale. Inhale, belly up, chest up. Exhale, belly falls. One more round. Deep inhale and exhale. When you're ready, you can bring your palms to the ground, slowly, very intentionally, starting to move, starting to come up to sit, feeling the mat below you, feeling the grounding that keeps you seated. If your gaze is softened or your eyes are closed, and take a moment now to open the eyes. And that is all I've got for you today. Thank you for attending practice.